about the overall form of the potential. And one of the things that I managed to talk to, I'm running out of time, so I don't want to move quickly, but I want to remind you, the standard process when we test the data, when the people produce an estimate of the cosmological parameters, is that the power spectrum is parameterized in some way. So typically the power spectrum is parameterized in terms of the spectral index n, and in terms of sometimes the scale dependence of that spectral index itself, the n, s, k, which is often written down as alpha. And so then you take your data, you take some prior assumptions about what you're going to allow, what kind of effects you're going to allow in your parameters, and you use a Monte Carlo knockoff test to produce the allowed ranges of each of these parameters. And then you can work backwards from these parameters here, you can work backwards to the values of the slope parameters, and in principle, you can work backwards to the inflationary models that would have given rise to them. And what we did is we said, well, if we're interested in constraining just the inflationary parameter space, then we don't need to concern ourselves with any parameterization of the spectrum, because the spectrum is actually fully parameterized in terms of the slow low parameters. So we're not going to parameterize the spectrum anyway at all. We're simply going to write down the slow low parameters, and we're going to split those inside of our cosmological parameter space. And so the advantage of that is that there are any high order correlations between these parameters, or any ways in which these parameters interact with each other in some complicated way because of the inflationary dynamics. We will capture all of those correlations directly rather than having to put them in a space. So it's something we impose in our parameter splitting process. The downside of this, of course, is it means that we don't have any information about something that isn't an inflationary model, but it's only telling us about models that fit the outputs that we've chosen when we start the process. So we already hear that there's no fundamental significance to the spectral index. So these are the inflationary observables. We can write down the scalar spectrum and the tensor spectrum in terms of the spectral parameters. The other technical point here is that all of the 50 feet of data in the WMAP paper, they all assume some pivot scale. In other words, if you have a spectral index that is itself a function of position, if you change the value of the position, the wavelength that you're going to measure, then you're going to change the numerical value that you're going to assume applies to it. And particularly in the current WMAP data set, if you measure it seems that if you measure the spectral index is very large wavelength, it appears to have a value greater than 1. If you measure it as a very small wavelength, it appears to have a value less than 1. So if you want to make a distinction between a red and a blue spectrum, you actually have to be careful about where is this precisely that you're measuring in order to make that constraint. The other thing is that because we have access to a full inflationary model in this calculation, we can actually say we're only interested in inflationary model, for instance, to produce a good equals of inflation, this number that's traditionally characterized by n. So we can include constraints on the number of equals of inflation directly in our parameter splitting process, which is something you can't talk about at all if you're thinking in terms of the scalar, the standard spectral index. And when we do that, we have to think a little bit carefully about models that inflation never explicitly ends. So there's also what I want to talk about now. We actually had an initial paper on this algorithm that used the two-square law parameter to define the data. And so over the summer, we've been working to include the third-square law parameter, which depends on p triple prime, in other words, the third derivative of potential. And this is important because this really is running in the really is evidence for running in the WMAP data set. That running inside the standard inflationary theory is dominated by the third derivative set. So we look at the WMAP 2, the new data set, and WMAP 2 and the power spectrum, you get from the point that you will price it, and we consider the both with and without a prior number of equals, and then we went through the standard Monte Carlo knockoff translation. And the results we get, when we put them, is... I have to use the stick, I think. Okay, I'll stop in a second. So when we got these results, you can see that this is epsilon, this is eta, and this is xi, and this is the case with the WMAP 2 plus this, and you can start to see that this quantity in particular, this is xi, there's a lot of evidence, not quite at the 3 sigma level where we would be capable, certainly not at the point where we want to claim a detection, that this parameter which is up here in the third derivative in fact has a positive value, in other words, it's very much not centered on 0. However, when we include a prior on the number of equals, we see that the models where you have a large running, what they seem to have a very short duration of inflation on the order of maybe 15 or 10 equals. And so when we include a prior that we have at least 30 equals of inflation, we see that this quantity of xi is in fact reduced by a fact, so the range of xi that's allowed is reduced by at least an order of magnitude. In other words, most of the evidence for running goes away. So it appears to be from a simple parameterization that the amount of running that we see is in fact correlated with a very short duration of inflation, so short in fact that you wouldn't be able to solve the standard cosmological model. So in other words, you can't have both the large running and the short duration of inflation, and an inflationary model that's only specified by 3 parameters. So anyway, to solve this, we're going to use the 4th parameter into the description of inflation, which is starting to look like quite a complicated theory. At this point, we don't have any particular, we can't derive anything deep on the basis of this, so we can say that this is what the data is telling us about the system, and in order to understand the properties, we think we have to include the mixed order term in the perturbation theory. I'm going to show you the plot for the number of equals as a function of xi, and you can see that this website case, which doesn't have a constraint on the total number of equals, is in fact equal to 10, whereas when we remove that constraint, we get back to the 40 or 50 or 60 equals of inflation, something like that. Put that. So the last one I want to show is simply again, you can see that the fact that we can rule out under 4 inflation, which is the bottom line there, and either of these two data sets is under 4 is looked at rule out better than 3 sigma. And in fact, the down here seems to tighten slightly over what you would see with the analysis by the WMAP set, simply because the inflationary prior by itself is imposing some extra constraints on the parameter space. So anyway, close here by saying that what we get here is a tight constraint on a class of models. So we started with a strong theoretical prior, and we're dealing with standard single field inflation, and we're then saying, given that constraint, what is the best model that we can find? And you can see that we can look at particular models, particular types of models, and we can rule out, and we can start to see that we're actually starting to be constrained to live in a fairly constricted region of that parameter space. The other point is that you can see that and that is in fact a function of the physics of preheating. So if we change the physics of preheating, we change the point on the trajectory where any given cosmological wavelength goes forward. And so getting to the point where we may in fact be able to break some of that density by looking at that point. So this could be used with any multi-parameter family of models, such as the case with GBI in the sky or a model of inflation. So the last point that I want to make is there's much more cosmology than just the spectral index. So there's any model that has given spectral index, will be an infinite number of other ways, or infinite class of models that agree on that prediction, but will disagree in other ways. And I think the focus now will be to discuss these different ways in which cosmological models can be distinguished from one another.
So you had that plot of how far you were from the 3 sigma data in NS bar and
What's that?
No, the one you were on. That one. So 60 volts is harder to arrange, right? But it's closer to...
In general, if you have chaotic inflation, the sort of limit corresponds to things that seem in a very large number of people to the end of the session. And so the secular limit is something like 1 over n, and the running limit secular limit is something like 1 over n squared, a simple model. And so what this is telling you is that 60 you already 1 set by way, but the constant is different between random particles and n squared particles.
I think we could we'll have one more question maybe, and then the rest will wind up.
I'll have one later.
How good is the fit to the data in your model where you have 3 slow roll parameters? If you put in a prior of 60 equals?
In general, I mean, you always find the maximum likelihood. I mean, if you don't put in a prior number of equals at all, I mean, it's quite striking how low the number comes out to be. The likelihood will be lower, yeah. I mean, the likelihood is 60 away from 50, so if you wanted to say I'm only interested in 50, then that probably would have a lower likelihood than the point where you didn't put in that constraint. I think the bigger issue is that if any kind of constraint that you put in that's giving you information about the path spectrum at short scale is going to push you back towards the right value of n. So in other words, the people like Uncover collaborators have looked at what happens when you put data from the 1 and out the pulse, which again is split the primary path spectrum at short scale, and it seems to do away with the evidence for the running. And so the reason for that is if you think that you have a large range, which is no, and on the other hand, you also see NFU okay, but you also have a large range in K, which makes what K right, so by the time you've moved to K equals, you basically reduce the path spectrum to almost nothing. And so there's a question of how long you'll leave around it, and so the thing that's really kind of similar to this issue is simply, once you get more high quality data, particularly from the CMB, and so I think what people are interested in seeing at the moment would be the data set that comes from the ACT project, which is this the atomic cosmology concept, I think it's called, and that's going to measure the path spectrum very, very accurately at L greater than 1,000, with a lot of overlap with the WMAP spectrum, and so that means you'll be able to settle the relative normalization between the two data sets, but you also have a very long lead around that's only looking at one kind of information, rather than trying to take information from large-scale structure, which is subject to a whole range of issues in terms of its interpretation and analysis from the CMB and trying to visualize together. And in principle, an analysis can be done, but you have to do more systematic in that case than if you have just two constants, two CMB data sets, and do as much overlap as possible, but you have science to give you the whole system out there, 1,500 or something like that. Thank you.
So, welcome to Santa Barbara, where the greatest challenge to meteorologists is to predict when the morning fog will burn off, which is probably 9:30 today. There's still people to come, I'm sure. Are there people here who have come for the first time? Raise your hand. Great. Because I see a lot of familiar faces. The KITP is in its 27th year, and we like to think of it as a national laboratory for theoretical physics. Or something wrong here. If you have a cell phone, you may want to turn it to vibrate rather than ring at this point. Or turn off your song on your computer. There is a computer network that you can use, KITP Conf, which doesn't require a password. Down here it's acting a little flaky this morning, so I will talk to our computer guys and see if we can straighten that out. Anyway, coming back to the KITP, you'll see we're very full at the moment. We're running 3 programs. There are 2 other, as you probably know, this conference is part of our program on string phenomenology that will run for 4 months. And there are 2 other programs currently underway. One is on attosecond science, which is exploring the use of these extremely short pulses, and it's been very exciting. We're going to have even shorter pulses. In a few years we'll be studying nuclear motions, not just atomic motions. Questions of where it's useful. And that's part of what the program is about. And the other program has to do with stochastic linear evolution and its applications to critical phenomena. Another very exciting development. This time, sort of unlike string theory, the initial progress came from mathematics and is finding its way into physics, and that's a very exciting program too. So, as you wonder about, there are people from those programs, and of course, if there's a lunch seminar in those programs that you want to sit in, you're welcome. We have a number of staff people around the building. Jocelyn, you probably know, Jocelyn Quick, who has been our administrative coordinator for this conference, but all of our staff people will be wearing this sort of badge around their necks to make them easily identified, and they'll be happy to answer any questions, and so just stop them in the hall if you see them. Okay, let's go down the list. You can get, if you wish, you can get parking permits for the parking garage right across the way. You can get them from parking services, just that your name will be on the list. It costs, I believe, $8 a day. There are bathrooms both down the hall here, and then there's a men's room down the hall this direction, and women's upstairs above that. All of the coffee breaks, lunches, and dinners will be in the courtyard, which is fully enclosed, so you don't have to go anywhere for those things. There's a computer room upstairs if you want to have a desktop computer at your disposal. Anything we do here at the KITP, we like to say, goes up on the web. Well, you could opt out, we hope you won't, so we'd like you speakers to give copies of your PowerPoint presentation or copies of your slides as described in the flyer in your packet. if you were here last week for the LHC Olympics, we need to still get a packet for this week, because among other things, the name badge has a different color. So we can tell who's who at lunch. And there's other useful information in the packet about it. Now, I heard that there's one page missing on the participant list in the packet, and we'll get a correction to you as soon as possible. Finally, one characteristic... Okay. So one characteristic of KITP conferences is that we budget a lot of time for discussion. We encourage you to interrupt with questions, although debates can be left for the discussion period that will follow every talk. So, in fact, discussions is often one of the most illuminating parts of our conferences. So we ask the session chairs to enforce the time limits on the talk so that there will be time for questions and discussion afterwards. Okay, did I drop some left? I hope I covered everything. I want to thank the organizers of the conference, especially Fernando Cabello, who's taken the lead in that respect, and I think he has a couple of announcements before the program begins. Thank you very much. Okay, well, thank you very much, Martin. So basically, we wanted to do this sixth annual Technology Conference instead of the annual Forgetting in Moscow. And well, we thought that this is a very exciting conference, so we can encourage a lot of the discussions and participation of all the participants. One thing I would like to mention is that all the talks will be 35 minutes plus 10 minutes of discussion, so there will be plenty of time for discussion after each seminar. So of course it would be also nice if we can interrupt the speaker anytime. So it would be nice to have as much interaction as possible, so that really includes 25 minutes plus time. It's 25 rating? Okay, no, it's 25%, sorry. Yes, 25%. Yes, very good. If you have any questions or problems, please ask any of the organizers, which are Macadine, John Catcher, Robbie King, Eva Silverstein, Jolie King, and me. But like I say, you won't answer the questions at the start. It's a gentleman, I'm not saying anything. And this conference, we have Latin's cancellation for sexual calling academic here. So we have Bobby Acharia for Tuesday afternoon, the first step in the afternoon. So it will be in the Bobby, she was talking on Thursday, but we're looking for Tuesday, and then we announce for the changes afterwards. And okay, so that's all I have to say. So we'll start the conference with the opportunity talking about the technology conference in the afternoon.
This is part of the description.
例えば、ご家庭の自転車やオートバイ、この小さなカビネットには
Actually, we're trying to fairly often. Nobody really knows, and by the way, these arrows here are probably the really high is my guess. You can see that Lou was optimistic with Rick. He put his Rick arrow up there at about 350, and we now think Rick is more like a 270. So with the LHC, people say numbers like 5.2. Nobody knows, really. But what I'm thinking about is that we might wonder, will the LHC there are high enough temperatures at the corporal and plasma itself that could almost certainly no. Even if it did, suppose it did, suppose it went to NTC, and suppose that NTC is the further, there's no evidence for that, but suppose it did, and the thing expands and cools and it goes through this interesting phenomenon region, it will spend more time at 2TC than at NTC. So I think the right way to think about the LHC is the corporal and plasma of the LHC will be, for all intents and purposes, the same stuff as already. But you'll have those that are so much better calibrated because the production rate of 100 GeV protons is very well described at the conservative GCD, and this conservative formula of energy loss that we built that calculation on is becomes controlled. So the idea of the LHC for the corporal and plasma is probably the same stuff, but you measure it with probes.